can everybody fucking mute? See, the muting thing doesn't work if you all unmute and then say stupid shit while I'm trying to do the thing. That defeats the purpose of the muting.
Okay, we'll mute.
Hate you all.
Consider me muted.
Oh my god. All right, here we go. I'm Scott. Cover him up with the notes. All right, starting the show. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us under the library. We're playing Call of Cthulhu. It's a homebrewed universe created by our very own keeper, and the story is made up by us in the moment. In the moment. If you happen to enjoy what we're doing here and would like to support us, please head over to underthelibrary.com/support to learn how you can do that. And if you are a GM or player of any tabletop role-playing game and are looking to improve your role-playing, you should definitely check out our other show. It's called Up Your RPG and can be found wherever you get your podcasts. With that, let's start a show. My name's Arthur. I am playing Buddy. I am joined by a full cast this week. Chris is here as Pappy. Scott's playing Eddie. Rick is Sam. Emily's back as Joe. And Wayne is Sister B. Of course, as always, our keeper is Michael. Michael, the show is all yours. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Want to say welcome to some of our wonderful new patrons. And if you two would like to buy us a milkshake, head over to patreon.com where you can do that. This is the disclaimer where we let you know that our show may contain themes of horror, violence, gore, and possibly swear words because, well, we're immature people dealing with mature themes. I haven't said that in a while.
You haven't said that in a while. I missed that.
Yeah. Anyway, the other disclaimer would be if you ever rent the unrated director's cut, hoping to watch an extra 30 seconds of a half-naked NPC running around with a hatchet in its head, you're in the right place. And with that, I'll hand it over to Joe, I mean Emily, with last week's recap. And why does Rick look so befuddled?
He was confused by your disclaimer.
Every week with your disclaimer, I realize that I'm not in the right place.
And I realize you're just talking about yourself.
I'm like, what the hell am I doing here?
Every week that I write the disclaimer, I think, I wonder what Scott's doing here.
So true.
All right, Joe.
So last week we met John, 5'4", slender, in 1920s Wyoming. It was June, and they were at a paleontology dig. I'm having a weird night already. Okay,
it's the bourbon.
This is a really good story though, so I'm gonna focus. So they were at this dig led by Edward Koch Jr. and while there were many small bones at the surface that indicated it was a good dig site, underneath they found a hole. It was about 2 feet in circumference that led deeper underground. I'm sorry, these are the things that happened.
There are the things that happened, you're right.
Yeah. So, though John is claustrophobic, he fights his fear and agrees to be the first to explore the hole. I'm sorry. It's just gonna be what it is.
Back to that immature people thing.
Make mid-summery. That's just not good.
Is Emily broken?
I think she might be.
Sorry. So, what if we don't get a summary?
He's bourbon broken.
I feel like we're doing drunken history, but it's like a drunken history of Under the Library.
Of
First
Monday.
I've ever broken during the summary. I owe all of our listeners a great apology, and you guys suck.
I think this is the best summary ever.
Hey, did you happen to get John's astrological sign with those? Just curious. And I think he prefers Pappy.
Not in his flashback.
He starts out
he
as
did.
John.
Get
Not
the
in the-
story right.
In the whole
Keeper.
sequence.
Anyway, So they make him a little harness and drop it. Oh no!
You make me sound like a puppy. They make him a little harness.
Or those when little babies jump
Not
up.
quite
thing.
what I was thinking of, but that's fine.
You put him in a Johnny jump up.
No, because they lower him down the hole, but it's more like a.
Mommy, teacher sounded funny today in school.
Do a scene, and then I could come back and read the summary.
This is fucking genius.
Oh wow, we've really lost her.
Oh,
Emily, can you do this?
Maybe we need a cereal break.
No, I can do this. Here we go.
You got
Okay.
this.
And you're welcome to cut out any
Oh,
of that.
none of it.
No,
So,
this is-
it's a very narrow tunnel. So he had to shimmy. His shoulders were wedged into the sides, but eventually, he makes it about 20 feet down, and the tunnel widens into a cavern. Below, 30 to 40 feet below, he sees sort of a glistening that might actually be the bottom, but he's not sure. And he calls back up to the people at the top, and they lower him back down without getting any verbal approval. Essentially, just drop him in the hole. And he's in this big cavern. A lot of the rocks are coated with a wet plant matter, and he cannot see the walls. He walks in a direction until he finds a wall and touches the glistening substance on the wall, which is gooey, a little like, as our keeper said, seaweed covered with snail goo. Yet it smelled. This was quite a story. Quite a story. And then at that point, there was the sound of crashing and crumbling rocks, and most of his crew fell into the hole. In a
There's
screaming...
nothing funny about that. That's horrible.
No, it's really tragic. They were just in a pile of rocks, and John tried to help somebody by pulling them out by their arm, and it was just an arm, a severed arm. He sits a moment at the top of the pile. I don't know why he crawled up the pile. And is hyperventilating because he knows that no help will come. John gets himself together. This is going to be the longest summary ever. He sees two additional caverns off of the main one. One smaller that tapers and a larger that's about 50 by 50 feet. He enters the large chamber and realizes he is actually inside a skull. He examines it. It does not seem earthly. It's actually a skull within a skull. Finally, a voice yells down, tosses John a rope, and it is the rival paleontology team. What a twist! They're assholes. One throws a punch at John. John then tries to shoot him, but the punch lands and he loses consciousness weeks later on a train to Colorado. He had been not only punched, but drugged. Okay, I think I'm in this now. So let's go to Buddy and Eddy, who are in the diner processing their time loss. They decide to return to the bar to find Lana, and she's arguing drunkenly with a well-dressed yet disheveled man who Buddy recognizes from the dining hall at the base. And this is the point where Eddy gets Buddy a root beer and tells him that if he wants to have attention, to be able to get his own root beer, he needs to let the gullet flow. As they are distracted talking about gullets, Lana slips out, and when Eddy tries to follow, he is inexplicably stuck in place. Cannot move for at least 5 seconds. And then he awkwardly lurches forward. They trail Lana towards the theater and witness her abduction. A man in a hat started following her. Car pulls up, throws her in a car, drives away. The license plate was L74FUT. I'm sure this will be important later on. Car speeds off, and Buddy and Eddy, Buddy sees Lana in the back window, and she's mouthing, "Help me!" And Buddy shoots at the car, but the bullet ricochets off a wheel. Yet the car is damaged enough that it goes slowly, allowing Buddy and Eddy to follow it for 4 to 6 miles. These guys are in shape. Sorry, you don't need the commentary. Car pulls over at a gas station, and that's where they stopped. This is when the keeper forgot Joe. It's an important point. Sam is dreaming. An insistent knock at the door, and he yells and wakes to knocking on the window. It is a policeman. He smells iron. His hands are dark and crusty. It is nighttime. Policeman asks him to step out and sees that Sam is actually covered in blood, draws his gun, trains it on Sam, opens the back of his truck, and finds something disgusting. He says, if you're gonna kill something, use a gun. And do you actually eat this shit? And you're disgusting. And eventually, Sam looks into the back of the truck and finds a pile of liquefied intestines. No fur, just awful. OFF, not AW. You know. All right, let's go to Sister B, who she left Carly's and actually went to Los Alamos because there's a friend there, another sister, Natalia, who is at a local Catholic charity. So they're working there together, and one of the residents is actually a man named Pappy. Sister B takes an interest in him because he carries around newspaper clippings with strange and morbid stories, and it piques her interest. He is also in search of the answer to some questions that might involve strange and morbid stories. They sit down together after dinner, and they talk about some dark experiences that they've either had or read. Pappy is looking for his friend Boone. Sister B pries for information, and eventually Pappy gets real, leans in. What are we really talking about here? And she explains that she's actually looking for things that shouldn't be happening, specifically to solve the death of her brother Richard. Pappy is trying to solve the disappearance of his friend Boone, and Pappy asks, Richard Fimer? And that's the cliffhanger we ended on, because why does he know his last name? That's by far the worst summary I have ever given.
Thank you.
I think it was pretty amazing. I do have a question, though. Emily, what is the bourbon that you were sipping before the show?
Like what variety?
What brand?
Oh my God.
Am I going to buy her a bottle?
Something a friend bought for me, and it's really
called
good.
Acid bourbon.
I'll tell you after the break.
Okay, excellent.
But it was like a friend who doesn't drink bourbon went into a store and said, what would you recommend? And whoever worked in that store had a very good recommendation. And I'm still sipping it.
Okay.
Lucy in the Sky with Bourbon?
No, it was the name of it was a man's name. It was Tom something. I don't know. I'll tell you after the break.
Thank you. Sorry, Michael.
It's all right. So just a heads up for everybody, your keeper is a little sick. Not just normally, but anyway. Okay.
Not news.
Yeah, not news.
And your record keeper is a little broken. Also not news.
Not news.
My record's broken.
It's the person who takes notes. The keeper of records. Record keeper.
Record keeper?
Oh.
Is that not my title? Can I not be the record keeper?
You absolutely can, but
I mean,
you have to make
if you
small.
want me to keep your
You
records,
deserve any title you want.
Yeah, you have to make really small words for Michael to understand.
I thought she was calling me a broken record.
That's what I thought too. I couldn't
Okay,
figure
thank
out
you,
what was
Chris.
going on.
I was trying to too. I was
I just
really
thought
confused.
I couldn't claim the title record keeper. What do you want me to be, secretary?
No.
No, you can have what I agree with Scott.
Tran-
Whatever
trans-
title you want.
Transcriptionist,
Whatever title you would like.
historian.
Oh, I like that. That's very Cthulhian. A Lovecraftian.
Lore keeper.
Best. That's the best. Lore keeper.
Oh, lore keeper. Okay.
Yeah, see, because it's a short word, so Michael gets it.
Oh yeah, okay. Is 4 letters the limit?
It might
It's
be.
gonna make things difficult.
I like dead PCs, and I cannot lie.
All right, so what are we doing
All
here?
of those words were under 4 letters. That was really impressive.
You just want to roll?
Me personally?
Yeah. I just want you.
Am I rolling for friendship?
Yeah, I just want you to roll your dice right now.
Rolling for friendship.
Oh, that's a 19.
Oh, that's good. All right, we'll still be friends then.
Okay. For 19 hours. Is that how that works?
Okay.
Hard success.
Who wants to get started? What scene would y'all like to cut to?
I think we got to go with Joe, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
because obviously
Yeah.
Emily's really ready to inhabit. Yeah, we can start with Joe.
Yeah, but if we get any later in the night with Joe, it might get yeah.
It might get worse.
Good call. All right, so we last left off. It's been a few weeks since so Joe was outside her parents' bedroom. Is that correct?
It is not correct.
Oh.
Joe, I'm sorry. This is why I'm the record keeper. Joe had tried to enter her own bedroom, but she was overcome with memories and could not. So she was just sitting against the wall across from the door to her room, trying to get up the will to enter.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. That's just because I leaned back.
No,
I'm
it's
ready.
been consistent, but that's fine.
Oh, how about that?
Excellent.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey.
And
Hey, Joe. Joe. What are you doing there? In the you just sitting there in the hallway. Is something bothering you?
this
that
was
your
my
room? Oh. Have you been in it?
It was my room.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
since
No, I can't go in. It's clean now, but and I'll just get up and I'll I'll walk to the threshold and point to the door and just say there were streaks right here.
and I've walked up at this point and I'm just sort of looking in with you.
And they continued, and I'll just point down the wall of the hallway. And I just wanted to go in and see if anything of mine was still there.
You want me to take a step? Maybe that'll help.
Sure.
All right. And I'll just step on in. Look around, presuming it looks pretty sterile as the rest of the house.
Yeah, I think that if I remember right, the bed was stripped, so
Mhm.
with just a fitted sheet on it, and so otherwise it looks pretty bland. The house has been pretty depersonalized.
So I'll ask Joe, where was the markings on the wall?
It was just it was on the door.
Right up
and
here. Yeah.
all the way
So-
down the hallway. And
So I'll go up to where those areas she's pointing at are, and I'll just sort of use my fingernail to scrape a little bit of the paint and see is there still sort of a stain underneath.
Yeah, and Joe, as you watch him do this, make a pal roll, and Sam, you can make a spot hidden. There's a great metaphorical value
that's
in
crazy.
you chipping away at the paint.
I
Yeah.
rolled a 1.
Wow.
Huh.
So considering that I rolled a 1, I'm going to pull myself together and say to Sam, I made those marks. There was blood on my hands. There was blood on my hands when I made the marks.
And I'll sort of stop peeling at it. I got a 92 for what it's worth. I had to make sure that wasn't a 7. It's a 2.
Oh,
It's a 2.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Um,
That's good. For
so
you.
right, and so I'll sort of stop and sort of brush that area off and make sort of a mental note, and turn to Joe, and realizing she's a little perplexed or distraught, suggest we should just head on out, maybe catch a breath of air, and give you a moment
No,
here to process.
With that 1.
Oh, right. I don't know your
I'm-
internal fortitude.
Joe is speaking right now.
Okay, Joe, you keep talking.
I think I'm ready to step in. And I'm coming into the room. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Sam. Coming into the room, and I'm just looking around, and it is true that everything's sterile. Nothing that I had on the walls that wasn't blood, like a picture or something. Nothing's still there. I open a drawer. Presumably the drawers of the dresser are empty.
Did you have any hiding spots in your room?
Well, so I'll get down on my hands and knees and just look under the dresser in the back left corner that's like really close to the back of the room. So
make a luck roll.
Yeah. That's probably fine.
Okay. We'll go with that. Tell me what you found there.
I just want to check because I think I've lost them. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So there's this box, just like a little wooden box with a little clasp, but it's not locked. It's just like a slide. And I'll just pick this. I'll pull it out from under the dresser, and I'll just say, I can't believe this is still here, and take it with me.
Is that yours, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just used to keep things that I found, things that were interesting.
Is everything still in it?
I'm not going to open it here.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
I'll just take it with me.
All right. So we can head out. I suppose I'll walk out with you into the hallway. As we pass by the parents' room. Is that right, Keeper?
Yes.
So I'll just sort of take a look inside. Same sort of bland, right? Nothing. Yeah.
Furniture's still there, but like family photos are gone. Any kind of personal artifacts are gone.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So I'll walk with Joe then into probably the living room or the kitchen. And I'll say, Joe, I went down into that basement. It's everything is gone. Nothing there to really see. I think all those memories are for you and in the past. And maybe when you're ready, we can head on out.
Even in the middle?
Even in the middle. That dirt's been stripped.
All right, Joe, make another POW roll.
It's a 34. That's probably fine. I missed a week and I don't remember yeah, it actually is fine. But it's just a regular success.
Yeah. You feel a calling down to the basement. You feel a pull.
It's all gone.
Yeah, everything's gone down there. The ground there and that center area has been stripped. It's just an empty room at this point. No reason for you to traumatize yourself going down there, re-experience any of those horrors.
It's been 6 years. What did you say?
I said, can you spell that?
The horrors.
You're talking to a child here, Sam. Anyway, I think that Joe is going to feel drawn to the basement, but not to respond to Sam, but almost just to be pulled by him. I mean, feeling the pull to walk towards the basement, the more that they talk about it.
Okay. And so Sam, you're watching this, right? You're watching Joe casually as you're talking. She just glides closer and closer towards the basement door, and you would probably kind of curiously notice this.
So she's doing this. I say, Joe, can you just wait 1 second here? I don't know if you notice you're drifting to that door. Do you feel compelled to go down there?
Well, you said everything was gone, and I just have.
You need
the
to see
last
for yourself.
picture that I have in my head is
sure
indescribable.
Sure.
And if it's really all gone, maybe I can replace it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can you wait 1 second, Joe?
Okay.
and I'll just we're at like that center junction point. I'll take the 5 or 6 steps to the front door, and I'll grab the shotgun that I had propped out there.
Okay.
And I will, close the door, sort of keep that, not hidden, right? The shotgun, but not like completely out there. Make sure I've got some sort of shells ready to go, and then sort of walk up and say, all right, Joe, we can head on down.
So Joe will lead the way into the basement.
Okay. And Joe, you head down, and when you get down there, you notice the same thing that Sam did, which is part of the dirt has been carved out, right? That they've pulled up a layer of sediment. As you kind of stand in the basement, you feel this odd sense of calm, right? You've had all this tension all through the house, and now you're standing in this space where it happened, and you really thought you would be overwhelmed by some kind of imposing memory or something else, but instead you take a really deep breath, and you're kind of relaxed, and you feel like in this moment maybe you can put this behind you.
Wow. As a player, that's wonderful.
Just
you're not
that other shoe to drop.
I was about to say, you're not really that naive, are you?
So I'm watching this, and I'll just watch her. Yep. I'll give her the time and space, to take it in and to have her moment. And after sort of a sufficient 30 seconds or so of silence, I'll say, "How are you feeling, Joe?"
I think I'm ready to go now.
All right. And I'll start moseying on up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You first, Sam, or Joe first?
Well, based on the positioning, I guess I would be first. I mean, it's not like I would have swapped it. I'm not going to metagame it. So yeah. Sam's just going to head on up.
Okay. And then Joe, what do you do?
Well, I will follow him because I do have that newfound sense of peace, and I feel like maybe this
are you having that moment as a
actually
player where you're like, is there
my
anything else I can do to prevent what's
again.
about to happen? Is that
No,
what's
no,
okay.
I'm just Joe is like starting to feel like maybe this building that was the source of her worst memory of her whole life, but also some of her best memories, could actually maybe be that first thing again. Like she could imagine being here and not just being bereft. I just should keep building this up before you tear it all down, right?
Sure. All right. So as you turn and start to head up the stairs, you grab the handrail to go up the stairs. And as you do, you slip a little and you catch the handrail, and you feel a really sharp sting in the pad of your thumb. And it causes you to jerk back. And you realize that you probably caught on a sliver or a nail that was poking out. But you definitely, like, I mean, it's not bleeding heavily, but you can feel the wetness on the pad of your thumb where some blood's coming out.
Can I just ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
Is that the same? Okay.
Sorry. For an audio show, I should probably confirm that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the same hand, the same finger and thumb that I would have my nervous.
That's correct.
That I'd been rubbing the skin off of a few months ago.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Gosh. And if I look at my thumb, is there just a prick, just like a bead of blood, or is there something in it?
Just like it's beating up, and then it kind of rolls down the side of your thumb, and then it beads up and rolls down the side of your thumb. And make a luck roll.
Oh boy, I'm in the basement and there's blood.
And Joe, you let out like a little bit of a right. So I would have turned at that point, being sort of a heightened awareness and sort of see this. Yeah.
Yeah, I am so damn lucky. Keeper's trying to do shit to me, but I made my roll.
Okay. It's good to know.
But despite that,
everything all right, Joe?
Damn, if you turned around to look at me, you would probably see that brief moment where I started to find some peace is just hardening, or I don't know. I'm losing that, and I'm just starting to go back into myself because I'm just staring at my thumb.
Girl, we just can't leave you alone. You're getting yourself into trouble left and right. Come on out. And I'll sort of put my hand out as I'm heading up the stairs. We got to get you banjoed up there. What you got there, a splinter?
Banjored?
Banjored?
Banjored. I just wanted to make sure that we recorded him saying banjored.
Oh, no.
There's a long line of Texas relatives in my past, and I've heard a lot of words, but banjored is definitely not one of them.
It's a badger playing a banjo.
It is so hard for me to maintain the intensity of this scene.
Sorry, go ahead. You get that
You need to
ban-
banjo
I
your
guess I
feelings.
need a
Banjoring?
banjored.
We're going to get you all banjoed up.
It was
So,
just,
yeah.
can you see anything? And I'd like to look at the railing and see what, I mean,
Is there anything there on the railing, Keeper, as we're
this is
taking
an
a look?
old house. We've been using this for years, and it's probably smooth and covered
You're on
with
mute,
hand
Keeper.
oils and
And that's what's weird to you is that I was going to say those things, right? You lived in this house for a long time. You used to play down there. But when you go back down and you look, oddly enough, right where the handle was screwed into the the little metal attachment that holds the banister on the wall, right where that was is it's screwed through and it's poking out, and you can see like a little glisten where it caught you and poked you on the thumb.
Oh, so there is something there. You're
Yeah.
looking at it.
Yeah.
Say, oh, Joe, that's just normal fixings here of the house here, biting you back. We should head on up and out to the car, and I'll grab off my hand and head on up, and I'll take out a handkerchief, and I'll hand it on over and say, we can get that finger all wrapped up.
After
well,
everything
you
that
offered
Joe's
your
been through.
hand, but I didn't necessarily take it.
That's fine. And then I
Pointing
pulled
that
out that's fine. I hand you the handkerchief. If you take it, you
Okay.
take it. If you don't, you
Okay.
don't. And I'll mosey up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like
I
at the top of the stairs with the door, like my hand on the door.
There's still blood in the basement. I'm never going to leave this behind.
But
No,
are
I'm
we
sorry
talking
if it was
about the
unclear.
mist? Like, did you just drip blood? Let me just clarify for myself and anyone who may or may not be listening. Or is this about, say, the psychological traumas that you have been hurt by? And
Is this character Rick
re-experiencing?
asking character Emily, or are you really saying this to Joe?
I've lost track at this point of
I just
who
called us
Rick
characters
is
too.
and
I'm
where
sorry.
Sam begins.
Oh God. So to be clear,
Yes.
blood dripped off of my thumb
Okay.
onto the floor.
Right.
I just saw that all of
Yeah.
the blood from the basement is gone, and now there's blood in the basement
You're leaving
again.
more
And this is
blood.
a symbolic
Yeah.
realization that I
Yeah.
actually will never leave this behind me.
Gotcha. And so if you say that out
Sorry
loud,
that wasn't clear. And I did
That's-
say that out
You
loud.
did,
Not the
okay.
explanation, just the words.
right on. So I'll head on over. We're by the kitchen. Right. It leads out to the kitchen.
I'm in the stairs.
That's fine. And I'll okay, listen, and I'll grab the sink and I'll turn the sink on. Is there water? Keeper?
Yes, there's water.
Yeah, so I'll take some water.
It's all flowing so naturally right now.
and I'll take
It's like,
Trying to have
like giving birth to a
It
hippo.
sounds
It's
like
totally not uncomfortable at all.
I'll take some water and I don't know, I'll splash it on my shirt, my sleeve. Well, I don't fucking know. And I gave her my hanky, so who knows what I got. and I'll
Okay, let's simplify this a little bit.
head back
Can
down
I
the stairs.
roll for POW and then come upstairs? Keeper.
You can just go upstairs.
Well, I made myself this moment where, fine. I don't know
Ma'am,
what's
you're
going on.
handcuffing yourself.
going
You just need to head your ass
upstairs.
upstairs.
I'm upstairs.
You made your luck roll, remember?
Yeah.
For the record,
you're
the
So
blood,
I'm upstairs.
the blood in the basement thing was really easy to understand. If
Yeah.
you're not Rick,
I thought it was a beautiful
super
moment.
easy to understand.
I don't know
it was
what
so
the
good.
fuck is going on.
Before he asked you for clarification, I had written in my notes as a potential show title because it's really great. I
So
don't
I'm
understand
upstairs.
why it was
Let's
hard
go.
to understand.
Cool.
Well, now my shirt's wet. Do you want me to wipe the blood off of the
No,
stairs?
I'm fine.
Are we
It's fine.
good?
It is a tiny little bead of
prick.
blood.
Yep.
Just a prick.
Well, just a prick.
I hate you all.
and I'll just say, damn it, Joe. And I'll head on out.
So many potential show titles tonight.
Head on over to the car, I suppose, and say we might as well get back to the house.
We might as well.
I don't know where Carly and Stephanie are and whoever this Russian nun is, but we better find our way back.
Let's go.
All right. So head back. I guess we'll lock up the house, and hop back in the truck and scooter down back to the old homestead there.
Okay. And as they bubba off into the sunset, then we'll take a break.
Oh my God! Wow, that was fantastic.
Emily, to be fair, when you said just a prick, I thought you were referring to Rick.
Me too.
Yeah, that's why.
That
Absolutely.
would've
That's what
been-
was funny.
I wasn't
Yeah.
laughing at the
Creative.
generic use of yeah.
Yeah, no, that was about Rick. All right, let's take a short break and we'll see everybody in the
Oh,
other
we're not
side.
on break discussing this.
No,
Oh.
no, absolutely. see that we've been doing the show how long? Like Michael says, okay, we're gonna take a break. Then I actually take the break and stop recording, and then we come
Yeah.
back. So now we're gonna take a break, and then
Gotcha.
we'll see everybody on the other side. We are back from break. Michael, back to you.
Well, and then I'll pitch it back to y'all. Sister or Eddie. Who we going with? Buddy and Eddie or Sister?
Buddy and Eddy.
All right,
Buddy
Buddy and Eddie.
Buddy.
I love Buddy and Eddy.
All right, so the scene descends on Buddy and Eddie. They're about a quarter mile out from a gas station where they can see the brake lights of this car that they've been following, right? You got progressively further and further behind, and the car has pulled over into the gas station. The brake lights are on, they're pretty bright. And I'll say I wasn't really keeping track of time too well. It was late though, right?
Yeah, it
When
was
y'all went to the
nighttime.
bar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it was
thinking
night.
like 9 o'clock when we were at the restaurant.
Okay.
That's just the way it was in my head. I don't know if that's right or not, but or
Yeah.
maybe
so
at 10
I-
o'clock for some reason.
Yeah, no, it was pretty late there, and then y'all went to the bar after that, right?
Mhm.
So this is like 1:32 in the morning. Okay. So nice kind of chill in the desert air, and y'all, that's what y'all see, right? The light, the brake
And you
lights.
said
of this
they're
car.
still about a quarter mile away from us.
That's correct.
Okay.
Art, did you do the "and we're back" thing?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'm out of it. Sorry.
And we're back.
Buddy's actually, this is energizing for him because
Yeah.
he was starting to get discouraged.
Yeah.
But now that he sees the brake lights, he's going to actually pick up a little bit of pace. But just before doing that, oh, I shouldn't have had that milkshake, sir, Eddie, sir.
Hey, sometimes you got to
Book it
drink
away.
the milkshake, let it drop down the gullet. That's a good thing. So wait, hold on. We got to talk for 1 second, buddy. Before
No, we got to
just go
save her.
running off.
We don't want him to drive off again.
They're
We gotta
not.
go get
Just
him.
give it 1 second.
Still,
1 second.
still running. You better keep up.
buddy, are you looking to get a bullet in you? Because if you just go running up on a situation like this, that's a good way to get an extra hole in you.
Okay, and as you're running, the lights go off on the car,
Okay.
and you see the side door open,
Okay.
and one figure gets out,
Okay.
and
Head to the side of the road and try and, get out of line of sight.
okay, and I mean, you would be out of the line of sight because
Okay.
there's no street lights.
Right,
You're
right,
right.
sure.
You're well out of town. Only thing is here we can roll for the moon. You want to roll for the moon? The moon is 70% full, so it's kind of a bright night.
Okay.
But he's probably pretty preoccupied because he's holding his arms underneath the shoulders of a body and pulling it out of the side of the car. And there's another guy getting out holding the legs. Make a spot hidden.
Both of us, since we're both running up.
Sure, absolutely. Go for
Jesus.
it, Eddie.
15.
Woo, buddy! You
So-
see that?
Ooh, I got a 10.
Nice.
Y'all clearly
that's
see
a
that
hard success.
that figure that they're holding bucking. So she whoever it is definitely alive and is fighting very hard against the men who are holding her.
Okay. Now, posturally, is this?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Well, it's the same car you've been following. There were the guys that you saw get in with her and Lana. So you can pretty well assume that that's Lana that they're carrying.
Okay. And are we close
Keep
enough
running.
to see if there's anyone still in the car?
After running that hard, I'd say y'all are probably at a much slower pace at this moment after following the car for this distance. And you're getting closer on it. Sure, make a spot hidden. Actually, you know what? What was your spot hidden?
Was it
It was
10?
a 10.
A 10. So I'll say that you can see that when they got in and out of the car, nothing.
Okay. So the car is empty. Now, this is a gas station we're running up to, right?
Right,
Are there
correct.
other cars around? Does it look like a legit gas station? Is there anything weird about it?
And it didn't look open, I think, is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Right. No, it didn't
Rural
look.
New Mexico,
It didn't look
1:30 in the morning.
right. It didn't look open, but as y'all are coming up on it, one of the guys uses a key and unlocks the front door of the gas station and lets himself in.
Are we to the car yet? Because I'm picturing the car first, then the gas station past it. Is that right?
Well, in fact, the car is just pulled up in front of like the mechanics bay, right? It has like one pump in front, and then there's a mechanics bay next door, and they
Okay.
just pulled up in front of the mechanics bay.
So then, did they come toward us, or did they go away from us to get to the door?
Away from you.
Okay.
It would have to be
And roughly how far is it between the car and the door?
10 feet.
Oh, okay,
15
super
feet.
close. Holy shit.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Is there any sort of cover before getting to the car? Like anything to hide behind?
Roll for luck.
Okay.
Maybe there's a big rock outcropping or something that you can.
Yeah. Yep, that's a success.
Okay. Yeah, there's several rocky features out here, and you could probably zigzag your way between them to get there.
Okay. Yep, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
Still kind of
So-
in a hurry.
So I'm going, please, buddy, just give me 1 minute. I haven't led you astray. Just 1 minute so we can plan. That's all I'm asking for.
Okay, really quick. I don't want to lose
Okay,
him.
if we got to make a plan, okay? If you just go in, something's going to happen. They're going to put a hole in you, or worse, what if they kill her because you do this wrong, right?
Okay, I
The
got it,
lights-
but what do we do?
You
The
gotta
lights
understand.
go on in the gas station as y'all are debating. So now the lights
So,
are on in
ducking
there,
down.
and you can see them easily, is what I mean.
Oh,
right?
okay.
You can
Yeah.
see through the glass, and you can see their actions.
Yeah.
Feel free to keep.
So I'm going to say, look, like just for example, now they got night blindness, right? We're far enough away. We can still see at night, but they can't see us out here. That's to our advantage. We don't want to go too quick. Look, sometimes you fuck the moose and sometimes the moose fucks you. You got to make a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
here?
but let's make the plan, Eddie. Come on.
All right. So what I'm saying is we should find out, first of all, are they in there? Are they just going to shoot her right away? Which means they got the gun out. Are they going to ask her questions? Which is probably what they're going to do. You don't bring someone out here into the middle of nowhere unless you're going to ask them questions in a way that you don't want other people hearing. If they were just going to put a bullet in her, they'd have pulled over on the side of the road, right? So that means we probably got a couple minutes to think for it, just a teeny bit. Are we going to go in and just, you put a bullet in one guy's head, I put a bullet in another guy's head? Do we wait until they're firing away from her that she doesn't get any risk from this?
Do you think that's what we should do?
Well, these are tough situations. Usually someone gets bullets put in them in this situation.
I'd much rather
it was them than us.
Yeah.
And so here's another question. Did we see any open windows? I'm asking this just to Buddy at this point. I don't know if I didn't look yet close enough.
He's gonna do one of these, like peek up over the rock and look for an open window. Oh, you're muted, Mike.
You're muted. So
Sorry, I'm trying to blow my nose with it muted.
Yep.
As you peek up over the rock, what you don't see Lana standing up. You see her feet on the floor, right as you through the bottom glass of the door.
Mhm.
So let me paint the picture a little bit better. If you're looking at the front of the gas station, there's an all glass door which allows you to see straight through, and then the side of the building right comes up about 3 or 4 feet, and then there's glass all the way around.
Okay.
So as you look through the glass door, you can see her feet sticking out, and there's a guy standing in front of what looks like an Coke ice chest, like an old
Mhm.
like you'd imagine from the 40s, like a self-vend ice chest. And he's opened that up, and he seems to be reaching under there, looking for something.
Like inside the ice chest, like
Yeah.
for something cold. Okay.
But he's not like just kind of reaching down to grab something. He's actually stuck his arm up under it in a really, that looks unnatural.
Okay. Like underneath the refrigerator part?
Yeah, like he's got the lid open, and normally you just reach in and grab your Coke.
Yeah.
He's got his hand stuck through it, like he's reaching through the
like
back
they've got a
of
hidden
it.
compartment.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
like through the
Gotcha.
back of the
Yeah.
Coke machine.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's something hidden.
Okay.
Yeah. So I say, I'm good with this. And look, here's the other thing. For all we know, we go in, we put bullets in them, and then we find out they actually work for the government. We don't know who they are at all. So if we pull the trigger, we got to understand there might be consequences for this choice.
Sir,
Maybe if there's a way to disarm them, that'd be great. But I don't want to get a bullet put in me. I know that.
I don't know, Eddie, sir. What I've seen that goes on in that government facility, some of it ain't right, and kidnapping an innocent woman,
You know,
I don't
that's
care
a
who's
good-
doing it, it's not right. If it's
I'll
proper government, then it's police, and they arrest her in broad daylight and they take her to a police station.
Yeah, I knew I liked you for a reason.
Taking
buddy.
somebody from a bar late at night and then driving him miles outside of town to an empty gas station, that's not appropriate government treatment of a civilian.
All right. I think I'm with you. I think you're a good man. So this is what I'm recommending. You tell me what you think. Let's go up real quiet, like you and I. Tiptoe, whisper. Don't make a lot of noise here. Let's look to see if there's an open window. We can get the guns in there and maybe do some of the stuff we do. And if not, you and I do a countdown of 3. We go in and we take them out.
Okay,
So
sir.
we use the windows if they're open. If they're not open, we use the door.
Okay, let's go. I don't want him to hurt her.
Good man.
I'm just gonna do.
And I'll let so you're
on the
you're
way there-
younger. You're so I'm letting you sort of take point.
Okay.
And although you're not much younger, I'm not super old.
Yeah.
But,
So I'm gonna head actually toward the car and go around the car to the driver's side, and I want to see if the keys are in the car, and so I want to check the ignition, the visor, and under the seat, without opening the door so the light comes on,
Right.
and try and take the keys if they're in there.
and as he's doing
I don't
this,
think they had those in the 40s, by the way. I think you're okay.
Okay.
okay. And as he's doing that, I'm sort of kneeling at the back of the car, looking right at the door, covering in case they come out.
Okay. Make a spot hidden for your key check.
Yeah, I had to fail one at some point.
Yeah.
That's fine.
wouldn't have made a lot of sense anyway. Because
Yeah, 'cause
anyway,
they
there's
unlock
no
the door.
Yeah, there's no keys.
I was worried about that when they unlocked the door.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Then
Eddie, as you're standing there,
No,
or
kneeling.
not, sorry, kneeling. You have kind of a side glimpse of the door. You can't see all the way in, and there's light, of course, spilling out through all the windows. And you see a really tall form up against the glass of the door, and it casts the shadow. And it, big hair. It looks like what you would guess is Lana. And then all of a sudden, she's being pulled away from the door. You can't see inside, but she's being pulled away from the door.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
so go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to say, so I'm motioning to Buddy and I'm doing sort of the whisper and I'm like, they just got her. We got to go now. We got to go now.
Okay. So I'm going to just quickly swap magazines because I had fired a shot from the other one and I want to make sure that it's full. So I'll, put this one. I'm picturing him with the, the traditional MP holster with the flap over it and then the two magazines.
Okay.
So I'm going to swap the one from the gun with one of the fresh ones, even though there's only one gone.
Okay.
All right. Heading for the door.
Yep.
Okay.
The door. So, well, real quick. So so when we're this close now, there are not open windows that we can use?
No.
Okay. All right. So it's time for door.
Yep. So you said it's glass door and then short wall. Which side does the door open from?
So the mechanics bay. So just if you were looking at the front facade, there's a pump out front. The mechanics bay with the car is off to the left.
Yep.
And then the main kind of glassy entrance is right in front of you.
Okay. And which side is the hinge? Which side are the hinges on? Which side are the handles on?
The handles on the right side of the door. The hinges are on the left. It would open out towards you.
Okay. Okay. So I want to peek in the door before we leave the car. I want to see if we can see where the two guys inside are facing.
Okay. So are you peeking around?
Yes.
Okay. Make a spot hidden.
Success.
Okay.
Standard,
you peek
normal
around.
Success.
And there's nobody inside.
Fuck. Okay. I don't see him, Eddie. I think they went into a different place. So then I'm gonna head toward the door.
Okay.
Still kind of look like crouching low and doing that crouch run thing, but trying to look as I go through the window above and through the door to see if I can see where they are, where they went.
Yep.
Okay.
And as soon as you open that door, I'm going in behind you, and I'm going to sort of direct, like, you go to the right, I'll go to the left.
Okay.
So it's a small space when you go in.
Mm-hmm.
All there is if you were to, even before you went in the front door, there's the Coke cooler on the left and some various snacks on shelves to the left.
Mm-hmm.
There's a desk towards the back with a register on it, presumably for cashing people out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest is just kind of empty. There's not much in there at all.
Okay. So go in kneeling down, because I'm assuming that they've gone back to like the garage bays, that kind of space, and we're in the office that precedes it. So I want to be low so they can't see me over the desk.
Okay. The front door's open, and so you can just pull it in and stay crouched as you go in.
Yeah.
Is there a door to get to the garage area or no?
There's not.
Okay. Then I want to open up the cooler and try and look where I saw the guy reaching.
Okay. Yeah, and there's definitely a gap in the back of the cooler. It's about 4 to 5 inches kind of tall, and it looks like it goes back into the wall.
Okay. I want to kind of put my head down and look because I'm guessing this is a a hinge to open something.
A secret door.
Yeah.
And you can't see anything. It's just kind of a hole in the back of the cooler that definitely goes back into the wall.
All right. Fuck it. He's reaching in.
Okay.
Yeah. And you hear me saying, it's time to fuck the moose. You got this, buddy.
As you reach in and grab under there, it's kind of like the hinge on the underneath the hood of your car. You know, if you ever reach under and pop it that way, like old school manually, and you are able to wrap your hand around it. And I'm just assuming that Buddy would go ahead.
Before I do it, I'm gonna say, "Get ready, Eddie," and then I'm gonna pop it.
Okay. And as you pop it, there's a releasing, and you're pulling, and to make it release. And as you do, the whole cooler starts to slide a bit towards you.
Okay. Then I'll kind of get out of the way and.
Okay. And as you look down, you realize, of course, there's like this little arch in the floor where the wheels of the cooler have constantly been slid back and forth in this place. And it's hinged on the left side of the wall. And so as you open it, you're looking down, and it's short. It's only about 3 feet tall, but there's this, or the height of the cooler, right? 3.5 feet tall. And it's a stairwell down below, it looks, as far as you can tell, below the mechanic bays.
Okay. Hold on a sec, Eddie. I'm going to run back outside, go to the car, open the car door, and reach up under the steering wheel and pull the wires out of the ignition and tuck them back up in there so that if they happen to come out first, they can't start the car.
Okay.
And then go back in.
I've been sort of holding the cooler to make sure it won't slide away. And then I say, now you hold on 1 second. And I'm going to go and I'm going to grab just something that I can wedge to keep the mechanism from re-engaging and closing. So something to keep this thing from closing on us.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
So head in.
Okay. You head down the stairs, and a lot of it has been carved out. Excuse me for a sec.
The keeper is coughing.
A lot of it's been carved out, but you're definitely under the mechanic bays. And you can tell because there's some grid structures up above. You can't see up through them, but there's some metallic grids up above your head. And so it's this odd kind of ad hoc space that definitely seems like it might have another purpose, but then it also seems functionally like you could use it to get underneath the cars that are up above. Do y'all have any kind of lights?
Oh,
I mean,
I do.
I have my light, but I'm not like if there's any light natural, because you said the lights inside were on and the grid's there. So if there's any light that's already coming in here, I don't have my flashlight going because I don't want to call any extra attention. So if there's, assuming based on your description, there's ambient light enough that we're not going to need our own torches.
I guess your eyes are adjusting and you still have the light from the gas station, right? The lights are on inside
that's what I'm assuming,
kind of bleeding down into this space. It's super, it's dark up ahead though. You're not able to make out what's going on. You're just able to kind of glimpse some objects here and there. As you feel against the wall, it's mainly dirt, but it feels like it's been reinforced in places, possibly with wire or steel grid or something like that.
Do we hear anything?
Make a listen roll.
Oh, yeah, that's a success. How good a success? Where the hell's listen? Hell. It's standard. Missed it. Missed a hard success by 2.
Okay, and so you hear some voices mumbling up ahead, and then you hear a slapping sound and Lana screaming.
God damn it. All right, taking off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm taking off running. I will. So we don't see any light from that far. Like they're far enough away that we don't see their light.
Right. Correct.
So if I see that, I'm gonna have my flashlight out,
Same.
and I'm doing sort of the whole like the gun flashlight combo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's an official name for that.
Yep. Yeah, same thing, but I'm keeping the flashlight low so that it doesn't project down the hallway. It just gives us enough to see right in front of us.
Okay. And I think that we'll probably cut at that scene
No!
with your flashlights on top of your gun as you're shining them ahead of you into the darkness. And I think that'll be a nice spot to cut on.
Perfect.
Damn you.
Sorry,
fun.
Eddie.
I have like 2 more sayings ready to go.
Oh, good.
Just for
Excellent.
this occasion. I'm gonna have to sit on them.
I hope it doesn't involve a moose again.
That's just the tip of the moose.
Gross.
All right. And then we will move over to Sister B and Pappy as they should we pick up right where y'all left off? Is that a good spot for y'all?
I don't know. We didn't really have a plan. It was
Okay.
just the conversation and then the realization that we knew the same person. And
Okay.
then-
That was like a cliffhanger that we knew the same person. So yeah,
Okay.
continue the conversation.
Cool. Sounds good. I'll leave it to you two then.
Okay. And then Sister B would reply because she said, Richard, what's his last name?
Timer.
Right. Yeah. And then and she's would be aghast. He says, "Oh my goodness, that Mr. Pappy, that is my brother you're talking about. This Richard is the same Richard that I know. That is my brother, who I don't think may be dead. I don't know."
This is very, very interesting. Very, very. I know the name because in the last correspondence I received from Boone, he had mentioned a Richard Feynman, is it? Timer?
Timer.
Yeah, so that's why I'm also looking. I'm going to have a hard time getting myself jump started tonight.
That's okay.
Words
Sister
and
B,
stuff. Yeah, that's why. Hey, that's why I'm here too. You know what I mean?
So I miss Mr. Pappy. I think we need to do some work together to find the true story of Mr. Richard, what has happened. But we need some clues, and you don't know, and I don't know what actually happened. But this is where I have to, I guess, in the time period where Sister B came to Los Alamos Keeper, did she find out like where Richard supposedly died, like the house and such like that, his house, like it happened there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be reasonable given the other correspondence that's kind of subtext to what's going on, right? You would have privy to all of that information as well as extra information that Richard would have sent you. So
Yeah.
You certainly, I think at this point it would make sense based on why you're there that you would know that.
Okay, and so that would be my thing, Mr. Pappy. My suggestion is that we go to the house of Richard, my brother. You've never been there, and I only know about it. I haven't been there since I've come to Los Alamos. I've been staying here with the sisters doing the charity work, and I have not been out and about much. But I feel working with you, I have a little more confidence to go out into the world and do some more investigation. The two of us, we will work together on this.
Well, Pappy is actually my cover. You can call me John. I had thought that the reason why I'm being so open with you is I thought that if you kept on with the questioning that you would blow my cover talking about the supernatural and whatnot. And so you're not part of one of the orders?
Oh, yes, I am. I am a nun. I come from.
No, you misunderstand.
Oh,
one of the religious orders that the things you're talking about. There are religious orders specifically devoted to.
Yeah.
And you're a member of one of these orders?
No, I think you're talking about the things that are these great things that are looked upon as very spectacular by some people. And no, I am not a member of that order at all. I'm curious. I'm learning a little bit more every day. I don't know much about it, but I think my brother did know much. He sent me some notes and such in a very cryptic way, and occasionally strange symbol would show up that he was looking into it. I thought at first it was archaeology and looking into maybe, things from ancient Babylon and Persia that he was doing. And then there was more curiosities to them that did not come together in good pieces. And from my world I come from, it just, I didn't want to think about it too much. It did not mesh. And then all of a sudden too many things were not correct, and too many loose ends that perhaps these things are more than I can understand. And so
well, there are indeed great evils afoot in the world, starting with the Great War. That's when we first got inkling, but now with the Second War, it's clear that there are forces afoot. The religious orders, of course, rely on their own terminology, conjuring up ideas of demons and hell. That's why I'll be greatly interested in talking to your brother as a scientist. We're a secular organization, and we approach the same ideas more scientifically. But we're talking about the same thing. There are forces afoot that could be the undoing of all of humankind.
So you seem to be saying that the Great War that I had uncles fighting back in Eastern Europe was perhaps not just caused by mankind and their evil, that there was something afoot underneath that forced things.
Our organization was formed after the Great War. I don't think anyone guessed that what was going on, that the Great War would have led to this. My opinion would have been that it was just a failing in the nature of humankind. But the fact that it was continued hot on the heels by where we find ourselves now, and information we've gotten from activities that the Nazis are involved in, it's now very clear that we're dealing with something beyond human ken. And we have had feelers out in this area. Something is going on in this area that I think your brother might have had an inkling of or even been privy to.
But he also told me, since you do from this other angle, he had this friend of his called Mr. Rutherford. I never met him, but he talked about him much. And he was a scientist who he had great suspicions that there was great science being warped and used by forces of government. But perhaps this warping of science was in fact something greater and more sinister that he was seeing. And maybe he had some suspicions in that area, but I don't know where he is either. He was good friends with Richard, and perhaps they are together somewhere searching for something, or maybe they, I don't know, have found something.
Boone had also mentioned Rutherford. He's another man I would be greatly interested in talking to. So yes, if we could find your brother, Mr. Rutherford, more importantly for me, Boone, then I think we can help each other out. I think.
So, Mr. John, I will just say this now. If we have been looking for Richard, you know this Mr. Rutherford, and this is coincidences is so great that I think our coming together is perhaps been forced by, who knows, maybe there are in fact what I believe in, these forces that are protecting us and these forces of good. I think maybe these forces have pushed us together to go on this investigation of goodness, to find that, to push against this darkness that seems to be seeping into the world. I sense that, and that is in my heart now that we are being guided by a light and a great power ourselves, and I think we will be protected by that. I have faith in that because I am a person of faith.
Whether it's merely a coincidence or a guiding light, I'll take it. I'm not going to certainly judge you for your beliefs if you'll accept that mine are a bit more skeptical.
Absolutely. The questions are welcome in all sections of life. It's good to question things and make more questions, answer what you can, and learn on your way. We make mistakes, but we also learn many things as we go along. We didn't both get to this stage in our lives without making mistakes and learning much. And I will use my guiding forces, and you will use your logic and science, and this will mesh together. And I think we will find our people. First place we should go. I had some information on where my brother Richard lived. I have not been there.
Actually, yes, I have an address. Boone had provided an address where he was staying.
Perhaps we should go there and look for clues. I do not drive car. I just have my suitcase and I go on big buses. I don't know if you are driving car either because you are here in.
No, I travel. Everyone in our organization travels by rail. We all, it's called the Council of Peripatetics, and we all travel the rails undercover as hobos, and we have to give up all connections to friends and family and devote ourselves to the orders, the council's mission. And speaking of which, I have to beg that you please maintain my cover. That to everyone else we meet, I'll be Pappy.
You are Mr. Pappy, and I am Sister B. We both have things, yes, that we need to keep guarded and close to our chest. I too. We must do this.
But it looks like we'll be walking.
So I remember Richard's house is back in. No, actually, no. Richard's house was in Los Alamos.
Yeah, y'all are good.
We're in Los Alamos.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so we should be able to get to that easy. All right, or relatively easy.
But in a pinch, should we encounter a car that we could commandeer, I'm a decent driver.
Oh yes, we will take it in the name of the Lord, and the car will be a wonderful car if that happens.
In the name of the safety of all humankind.
Absolutely, it would be our guiding light with great big headlights. So let me gather my things in suitcase and talk to your sisters that I need to be going, and change out of my aprons and get my other clothes together. I will meet you by the exit of this soup kitchen in just a few moments, as fast as I can go.
Okay, I'll be waiting for you by the side of the building.
Okay, so Sister B heads back to her humble area where she would have been with perhaps other sisters and stuff, using a cot.
And Pappy starts singing, "Get out of the way." Oh, Phil Donner, get out of the way. Oh, Phil Donner, get out of the way. And he shambles on out the front door.
All right. And when Scott, you want to give me some background on who Cully sold the house to, so I know who to play?
Yeah. So I think Cully was gonna work through. There was a lawyer, if memory serves, in town that was sort of helping him.
Okay.
And in my mind, unbeknownst to Cully, it actually was the government that bought the house.
Oh, interesting. All right, sure.
Yeah. So that's sort of how it plays out, is that, there's obviously stuff that I don't know about, but they'd lost some control in what happened. And so they wanted to get some of that control back. And so they bought the house because they wanted to see, were there other things hidden, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did Cully ever go and take anything out of the house, or did he just hand it over to the lawyer?
He had a small collection of things, and there was one painting that he loved that reminded him of Richard. It was sort of a painting of Richard.
Okay.
And then there were a couple photos of Cully and Richard and stuff like that. So just a small number of personal artifacts, but unless the painting it wasn't the one with the map on it or anything. It was a different one, a portrait Richard had done of himself.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So when you two arrive at the house, I'll roll for a little time of day here. It's we'll call it 6 in the evening. Is that okay?
Yep. And before we, oh, perfect. So it's still light out, and we're walking.
Okay.
So, Sister B is going to be using her suitcase, but as she gets closer to the house, she's going to start limping along, and she will say, "And Mr. Pappy, I will lean on you a little bit. I am getting very, very tired." And she kind of she winks at you.
Okay. So, yep, I'm helping you along.
And we were walking down the road. Walk down the road on the sidewalk. We are walking, and I wink again. We are walking past house, and we go towards the front door and windows. And as we're doing that, Sister B stumbles a little bit and grabs her ankle, and in doing that looks up at the windows to see if there's lights on, anyone there, and such like that.
Sure. The house is very dark, and there's no real yard in Los Alamos. There, it's to speak of, but there's kind of an air about it. There's a lot of dust or sand on the porch, and there's no car anywhere around.
Oh, okay.
It vaguely has this air about it of being vacant.
Huh. And I'm looking, and I said, "Oh,
I think I've got an idea. You wait here.
Oh, I will sit down. Oh, Mr. Pappy, I need glass of water or something." And she sits down. And
Actually, I'm going to go around. I'm going to knock on the door
mhm.
because as a vagrant, I knock on doors. I see if there's food. I see if there's work. It's
And
not uncommon.
Sister sits on the sidewalk and looks distressed.
And so you're sitting on the front. Pappy, you head to the back. You knock on the door, and there's no answer. Make a listen roll.
Well,
Yeah, you don't hear anything inside either. Nobody kind of shuffling around or anything like that.
okay, I'll step back and give Sister a little wave that I think it's safe.
Oh, and then Sister B comes up. "Oh, Mr. Pappy, I will be right over in a second." And she limps over and brushes the dust off of her a bit to get over to the door and looks once again, gives a better look for upstairs windows and such like that and anywhere around.
And if we find anyone in there, or if anyone finds us while we're in there, just play up the whole vagrant angle. They'll give us the boot, but there's no need for them to suspect anything.
"Oh, Mr. Pappy, I hurt my ankle, and I am a poor small old nun. I hope we can get a bed for the evening in this nice place. They can't not cast out none. That is not good for their well-being."
If only you were more secular, I would suggest that you join our council.
So, did you say you peeked through the windows? Did I hear you say that or no?
Yeah, Sister did.
Okay, Sister, as you look through the windows, it's evening light, but you can still see there appear to be or make a spot hidden. Maybe I should make you do that. Who knows? Maybe the window will break and poke out your eye to make it a little Diablo moment.
I got it by 3.
Okay, so as you look in the window and you're kind of snooping around, there's a lot of boxes inside, and everything hanging on the wall and left on the shelves has tags hanging off of it, such that everything's been tagged. There's no evidence as you peek around that makes it look like anybody's living in there. It looks like somebody's organizing all the stuff inside.
And this is exciting because she'll quietly say, "Oh, there's many things in boxes in there. I believe even moved out. This is good for us to get a peek at things." And she, quietly says that. And she'll go over to the door and kind of, "Oh, I wish this door was open." And she tries the door handle and gives it a jiggle.
Yeah, and it's locked.
And so is the door a solid door? Is it like one of those that has glass panels?
It's a solid wooden door, and but with a simple doorknob. Sure, one of you probably has a little lock picking skill, right?
That was my last character.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me check.
So the door's locked then.
Oh, terrible.
What about windows? Not very few people lock their windows.
That's true. Make a luck roll on that.
4.
Well, I guess with a 4, then as you kind of make your way around back, you find one that somebody forgot to latch up.
So, and as you are walking away to do that, Sister B is going to stay by the door because it'd be too suspicious to have too many people walking around. And I said, "Oh, Mr. Pappy, I wish they had the bathroom that you could use. You use outside. I will stay here and wait for you."
Okay, so I go around, look like I'm getting ready to relieve myself, look around, and then I take my knife and kind of get it under and lift the window enough where I can get my fingers under.
Okay.
And lift it up.
Yep.
And then I'm going to look inside to make sure there's no one in there.
Yeah, it's super quiet, but like I said, just looks like everything's been arranged in a way that like nobody living in the house would live like this.
Okay.
Oh, sister, I think I found something interesting over here.
Oh, okay. I will knock on the door. Maybe owner will come and open the door.
Okay. And I'm going to quickly, even though I'm old, I am in very good shape. So I'm going to do a vault and tumble.
Okay. So I'm going to make an assumption here, Scott, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to assume that Cully didn't actually go back into the main part of the house. He didn't do any cleaning on it or anything, right? That would have been way too much for him. He would have handed that all over.
Yeah, he got the couple things that he got, like they were either he could get them maybe by going to the basement, but more likely the lawyer that he was working with, he gave the description of the things he wanted without ever stepping foot in the house again. Cully never wanted to go in there again.
All right. So, Pappy, as you tumble through the window, there's enough light coming through the window, and what you see an outline on the bed. You see an outline in the doorway, like a white outline on the floor, and you see little numbered signs on the floor to mark where shell casings would be. And of course, those would be revolvers, but no, some of those weren't. Where shell casings would be, and then there's a pinup board on the wall, like a cork board that has been put up that shows all of these photos of the scene and what happened. And I think as you're looking at that, so you're in Richard's bedroom. Looking at the forensic kind of outlay of it, and we'll close right there.
Oh, you have to let Sister B in house.
Sister B.
She has to go to the bathroom. She's an old woman.
Her ankle hurts. She's limping. She's thirsty. She's a glass of water. She's got to pee. It's terrible.
There's wolves after her.
That's great. Worlds are colliding. Crossing over from season 2. This is great stuff. So thanks for joining us tonight. That's going to do it for us. If you are listening to the podcast, don't forget to stick around to the end of the episode for the ridiculousness that I put at the end there. It's the beginning and the end if you're listening to the audio version. Until next time, you can find us at underthelibrary.com. We are on Twitter. Michael is at underthelib. I am at tall and nerdy. And don't forget, check out our other podcast, Up Your RPG, wherever you get your audio. So until next time, for me, for Michael, for Emily, Chris, Scott, Rick, and Wayne, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.